What's good, Steeler Nation? My name is Jack Sperry, and this is Steelers Talk. Today, we're going to be previewing the Steelers' Week 16 matchup on Christmas Eve, Saturday Night Football against the Las Vegas Raiders. But before we get into today's preview, I would be remiss if we don't talk about Franco Harris. Franco Harris, the Steelers legend, unfortunately passed away last night, according to the Associated Press. And, you know, it's just, as a Steelers fan, this hits you right to your core. He is a 13-year NFL pro, 9 Pro Bowl selections. He is a Steelers legend and a childhood hero for many of the Steelers fans, definitely in the older generations, but also for someone like me in the newer generations, it's definitely tough. Right? 4-time Super Bowl champion. This is the guy that brought this franchise, along with Chuck Noll, Terry Bradshaw, Lynn Swann, all these other guys. He was one of the key pieces of bringing the Steelers from the brink at the beginning of the Super Bowl era, right? The Steelers weren't a good football team, and Franco Harris was one of the core pieces of that dynasty in the 70s. It's just an awful loss for the Pittsburgh Steelers franchise and the NFL as a whole. Let's take a look at his career stats here. Over 12,000 yards in his career over 13 seasons. Insane. 70 yards per game. 100 touchdowns throughout his career. That's receiving and rushing. And then he had a long of 75-yard touchdown in his rookie season in 1972. He is somebody that is just, you know, synonymous with the Pittsburgh Steelers, ground and pound, power football. Let's take a look at some of the accomplishments that he's had across his career. Right, 13 years in the NFL, won Rookie of the Year in the 1972 season, really just came onto the scene. He was 8th in MVP voting that year as well. Over 14,000 total career yards, rushing and receiving, 100 total touchdowns, 3-time NFL All-Pro selection, a 9-time Pro Bowler, and a 4-time Super Bowl champion, of course, in that Steelers dynasty of the 70s. And, you know, just at the end of the day, guys, Franco Harris is Mr. Steeler. He's somebody that, for many Steelers fans, embodies the spirit of what it means to be a Steeler. So go ahead and like this video right now and spam his number 32 in the comments section to honor his legacy, to send your best wishes to the Harris family, to the Steelers Nation as a whole. I mean, it's really a tough one for Steelers Nation today. Rest in peace, legend. All right, now let's get into the preview for this week's game against the Raiders, right? It is kind of the Immaculate Reception Bowl, right? The rematch here between the Raiders and the Steelers. Of course, that iconic moment. The Steelers are going to be retiring Franco Harris's number. They're going to have these nice throwback jerseys. It's going to be great. And you know what? We haven't had a watch party here on the channel so far this year, but I am going to be doing a guest spot on the Raiders Report, their watch party on Saturday night. So if you want to watch a Chat Sports watch party on Christmas Eve and you want somebody representing Steelers Nation, go ahead and go to the Raiders Report at about 6:30. That's when it's good, or 7:30 your time, Eastern time. We're in Central time here in Dallas, Texas, but 7:30 Eastern time for anybody on the East Coast there. I'm going to be on the Raiders Report as a guest host with Mitchell Renz. It's going to be a great time. So come out, support Steelers Nation, and support us for this big game. All right, now let's get into the injury report for the week here. Kenny Pickett, he is in and he is starting. He passed concussion protocol. He is playing. He is starting. This will be a big game for Kenny Pickett's development. Then you got Terrell Edmunds, right? Kind of a surprise here. Has this new hamstring kind of issue here, and he is questionable to go. Lots of Steelers players have dealt with hamstrings injuries throughout the season. It's been a real buzzkill for the Steelers this season. And then Myles Jack, who sat out last week with that knee injury, he is questionable to go. He has started the week of practice limited. Let's see what his status is as the week goes on. Then for the Raiders, another three-piece here. Dylan Parham, their guard, he's questionable with a knee. Zamir White, the running back there, he's also questionable with an ankle. And then their cornerback, Rock Ya-Sin, he's questionable with the knee as well. So not really a bunch of impact players on the Raiders getting hurt here and questionable and stuff like that. But for the Steelers, you got Edmunds, right? You got Jack. If those two don't play, the Steelers defense could be in a bit of trouble, in my opinion. All right, guys, coming up, I am going to give you 4 of the biggest storylines heading into the Christmas Eve matchup this week. But before we get into that, let me ask you a question. How much do you spend per month wasting money on subscriptions that you don't even use? use, right? Maybe it's an Amazon Prime account that doesn't get used. Maybe it's a Hulu account that you never stream, right? There's this great app that I use that helps me track all of my expenses, and because of it, I no longer waste money on subscriptions I don't even use. You might have heard of it. It's called Rocket Money, formerly known as Truebill. The app shows you all of your subscriptions in one place and then cancels for you whatever you don't still want. Rocket Money can even find subscriptions you didn't even know that you were paying for. You may even find out that you've been double charged for a subscription. I was doing that. I was paying for 2 Netflix accounts. To cancel a subscription, all you have to do is press cancel on the Rocket Money app, and Rocket Money takes care of the rest for you. Get rid of useless subscriptions with Rocket Money now. Go to rocketmoney.com/SteelersTalk to help out the channel and line your pockets here with some extra dough. I'm saving a ton of money, hundreds of dollars a month. Once I started using Rocket Money, you can potentially do the same. Here, go to rocketmoney.com/SteelersTalk. Help out the channel, but also help your wallet and your situation financially. All right, my first storyline heading into this one, Derek Carr, Raiders quarterback. He is not very good in the cold, guys, and this is going to be a cold one. The weather forecast in Pittsburgh on Saturday night calls for single-digit conditions, and with wind chill, guys, it's going to be far below zero. And Derek Carr, he's not somebody that really takes kindly to these colder games, right? He's 0-7 in his career in games below 37 degrees. That is abysmal. He doesn't like the cold, coming from Nevada and formerly California, right? He's not somebody that deals with cold well, and this is going to be the coldest game in Pittsburgh in over 30 years, since 1989, all right? I wasn't even born then, guys. I was about a decade from being popped out, right? This is going to be, this is an unprecedented kind of weather game. It's going to be a lot of fun, and Derek Carr, being somebody that's not a very good passer in these colder conditions, makes him very uncomfortable. I'm not really sure that he's going to have a good game, which of course is good for the Steelers defense and their chances to win this one. All right, guys, it is the Christmas season. Christmas is right on Sunday. It's right around the corner. It really crept up on us here, but I'm doing a special promotion this Christmas season where on Christmas Day, I'm going to be doing a raffle where one lucky follower of mine on Twitter is going to win a free Steelers jersey of the color and player of their choice, under $150, up to $150, I should say. But go to my Twitter right now, @Jack_Sperry. Give me a follow, and you will automatically be entered to win this on Sunday. Check my Twitter on Sunday to see if you've won. Thank you guys so much for your support. I really appreciate it, and I really just wanted to give something back to you. I'm paying for this 100% on me. All right, now number 2 storyline for this week's game against the Raiders is, can Kenny Pickett handle the cold? All right, we know Derek Carr really can't handle the cold. Now the big question is, can the rookie quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers handle this sort of thing? Now this is one of the things that I was worried about Pickett coming into the league, right? Smaller hands, and with colder conditions, your hands get numb. It's hard to grip that football, and Kenny Pickett has the smallest hands in the National Football League, right? The smallest hand size of any quarterback recorded at the NFL Combine, which is absolutely ridiculous, right? His hands are pretty small, and it's very difficult to grip footballs in these kinds of conditions. So the big question is, can Kenny Pickett do this? And because of this, expect Las Vegas to send a lot of blitzes his way and put him under pressure, because they're going to think that he's going to fumble this ball very easily. They're going to try to get as many rushers to him as possible to try to get those fumbles, guys. And, personally, I'm a little bit worried. This was one of my concerns for Pickett when he got drafted by the Steelers, because in the AFC North, if he's going to succeed and bring the Steelers back to glory, he's going to have to play some of the biggest games of his career in these types of weather conditions, in the cold, in the wind, in the snow, right? These kinds of conditions late in the season when the biggest games are happening in the playoffs, Kenny Pickett is going to have to excel and win in these conditions. Now, if he loses this game, by no means am I saying, oh, he's never going to get it. He's never going to get used to these conditions. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is that hand size is a concern, because, having big hands, especially like in cold weather games, that really helps you grip the football and pass more effectively. And Kenny Pickett has the smallest hands in the league. So I guess we'll see if that plays a factor. But let me know in the comments section right now. Who will have the better game this weekend? Type DC if you think Derek Carr, or type KP for Kenny Pickett if you think Kenny's going to be just fine this weekend. Now, number 3 on my list, and this is really what the game is going to come down to me, right? Because Derek Carr is probably not going to play well. Kenny Pickett might not play well. This game is going to come down to the run game. Najee Harris versus Josh Jacobs. It's going to be a great matchup. Let's take a look at the numbers for the Steelers and the Raiders respectively. So you take a look at that first matchup there. The Steelers offense is averaging 4.1 yards per carry, which is 25th in the National Football League. Not great. And then the Raiders defense is really, really good, right? Number 6 in the National Football League. And then you look at the other side, right? The Steelers defense is doing pretty darn good. They did a great job against Carolina last week. But the Raiders offense, they're averaging 5 yards per carry, which is top 5 in the National Football League right now. Josh Jacobs is certainly one of the best in the business right now. And on paper, Las Vegas does have that advantage. But this is a cold weather game with a warm weather team coming to town, right? You take into all these different factors, but there's one more factor that I think gives the Steelers an edge in this one, and that is the Steelers are playing for something that's bigger than any just a single person or just a game, right? Right now, they're playing for Franco Harris, right? Franco Harris is the motivation this week. They're retiring his number, right? The terrible towels are going to be flying at Acrisure Stadium on Christmas Eve in the week that Harris passed. This is going to be a game that they're going to be honoring Franco Harris, right? Halftime, retiring his number, wearing special throwbacks, which absolutely looks sweet. I mean, just take a look at these things, man. I mean, block numbers, right? You got the nice patch on the chest for the Steelers. I mean, Watt seems to like him, right? He's smiling. He's cheesing in these jerseys. I love these block numbers. I think they should switch the regular jerseys to block numbers, in my opinion. I think it just screams Steelers. But at the end of the day, this game is too important to lose. This is the most important game of the Steelers' 2022 season. I think they're going to be playing on fire. I think Franco Harris is going to be watching from above, right? It's going to be fantastic. I just can't predict the Steelers to lose this football game. So in honor of Franco Harris, I'm going to predict that the Steelers win on Christmas Eve night 17-15 in a score total that adds up to, guess what? 32, the same number that Franco Harris wore during his time with the Steelers. I think it's going to take a lot of Christmas magic to make that happen, but that's just what I think it's going to be. It's going to be a low-scoring game because of all the running that's going to be going on. I don't think it's that far-fetched that it could end up 17-15 at the end of the day. I'm super excited to get going with y'all on Saturday. Hopefully you'll be tuning into the Raiders Report. But here at Steelers Talk, this channel, we provide daily and free Steelers news and rumors content. We got a bunch of great stuff coming up in the offseason, draft analysis, free agent analysis, all this good stuff pertaining to the black and gold. And we have a great community of Yinzers that are passionate about the Steelers in the comment section. So if you want to join our family here at Steelers Talk, consider pressing that subscribe button and joining us today. All right, guys, that's going to do it for today's show. Here we go, Steelers. Thank you so much, Steelers Nation. I appreciate you. Rest in peace, Franco Harris. And until next time, peace.